write about a lot of things, very open
Yeah.
and honest about what you write about, and often that can lead you to
Trouble.
To trouble, yeah. One of the most recent things was the Koshy scandal, which
Yeah.
I'll call, which was a really tough 48 hours for you. In that time, you received death and rape threats.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. What was that like, and how do you handle when you have things? Have you had anything like that?
No. Oh,
Like
God,
a
no.
death threat
I mean,
is-
that's not normal.
That's
not
so
normal.
far from normal.
And I didn't handle it. I've had, and since it's happened, I've had all these women, young women in the industry say, "Oh, how do you cope with it? How do you respond?" And I'm like, I don't know, not the way I did, because I didn't deal with it well. I really fell apart, and I kept it going at work for about 24 hours through it, laughing it off and being like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Don't stress. It's just a bad day. These things happen." And then I was going to Brisbane that night for getting together with some friends for Australia Day, and I got on the plane and I left my laptop on the plane.
Oh,
and I got in the
God.
cab and realised I had, and just burst into tears.
Yeah.
And this taxi driver was like, "You'll get your computer back. Like, this is fine." Like, I think he was like, this is not comparable to, like, it's a computer, love. It's going to be fine.
Seriously, though, I'd cry over the computer
Completely
alone.
Completely lost it.
Right.
And was crying all night and was really struggling. But it's scary. Like, it's scary to wake up and watch someone yelling at you through the TV on breakfast television, and then have thousands of people online telling you what they think.
Yeah.
And part of that is just, if you have an opinion and you are being opinionated and expressing it publicly, there's stuff that goes with that territory, and I completely accept that.
Yeah.
When I give an opinion publicly, I don't get to decide whether people are going to go agree with me or not.
No.
You know, most people are going to fall 50-50 on most things, and there are going to be people who disagree in a really, really strong way, and that is completely fair enough.
Yeah.
It's that line where suddenly it turns to violence,
Yeah.
and often sexual violence, or the expression of violence or sexual violence, and that's where it's scary. And online, it's almost like we're starting to just accept that that's how it
Yeah.
goes. That being female and having an opinion on the internet means people get to say truly horrific things to you that are a crime.
Yeah.
You know, that are not okay.
Do you have to take, which it was the first time for these horrendous things people were saying to you, do you have to take, because I know some of them you just go, that's nothing, but when they are quite serious,
Yeah.
do you have to look into them further and take them quite seriously?
There's functions on Twitter and on social media where you block and report, and it goes through the channels
Right.
it needs to.
Okay.
And Twitter alert the police if they think it's necessary, and that sort of thing. So there are just sort of easy ways to deal with it. In that sense, there's no question about how you deal with it. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no sort of shades of grey of, oh, what should I do now?
Yeah.
You know, I would have treated it differently if I was talking to a young woman online just the other day who was saying she had received a rape threat. So it's just apparently normal, and it included her last address. And that's different. You know, at that point, you've got to start taking something very seriously, and you need to call the police, and you need to push through, because if they knew her previous address,
Yeah.
you know, somehow they might know her current one. But how you deal with it in that sense, I think, is really black and white. How you physically, and mentally, the things you have to do
Yeah.
to deal with a problem are quite straightforward. It's more the emotional side that is
Yeah.
really, really tough. But probably the only good thing that came out of that were the number of amazing women who reached out while it was happening and after it happened.
Yeah.
Some of the women I look up to most on the Australian media landscape, the ones you see on your TV every night, the ones you see every morning, women in politics, ministers, shadow ministers, all sorts of things, women who I admire beyond comprehension,
Yeah.
sort of thing, reaching out and saying, "Are you okay? What can I do? Don't let the bastards get you down." I even had some ring a week later and be like, "You haven't written anything. Why haven't you written anything? You need to get back on the horse and start writing things."
Did it knock your confidence out?
Oh, massively, massively. And I think we all like to pretend it doesn't.
Yeah.
You can't not have
No.
your confidence rattled by that. And, you know, I still stand by the opinion, which is probably makes it easier.
Yeah, thank God, because
Thank God, if I'd gone, now I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I still stand by what I said, which is important. But there were ways I could have handled it better through that process, and I think there's ways Channel 7 could have handled it better as well. And then what happened online was just another level
Horrendous,
of not okay.
Yeah.
Having a bit of a kerfuffle and a dispute in the media, that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But when violent threats start to come with the territory, that's when that's
It's
when
so
suddenly
not
the world's
okay.
not quite right.
No.
Yeah.